the issue of the fuel scarcity. Queues for premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as petrol, have resurfaced, and the country is being thrown into a fresh round of fuel scarcity despite assurances by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, that it has resolved the cause of fuel shortage in the country. According to the report, the fuel scarcity was due to a shortage in the supply of PMS to the nation's capital and other states, as this led to the closure of filling stations in the affected areas.
Meanwhile, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, through its public relations officer Chinedu Ukadike, has revealed that the ongoing petrol shortage, which is affecting an increasing number of states in the country, is expected to take around 2 weeks to resolve, as there is no petrol product available for supply in the country due to challenges in sourcing caused by ongoing maintenance at refineries in Europe. Joining us now on Breakfast Central is Chinedu Ukadike. He's the PRO IPMAN. Good morning. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Ukadike.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning, Nigerians.
Great to have you. It's not a very easy time for Nigerians across the country. I'm sure that you've seen the frustration, that is currently being spread. So help us understand, the statements from IPMAN talking about a turnaround maintenance in Europe, and how this really is a reason to blame for petrol scarcity in Nigeria. Make that make sense for us.
Yeah, I want you to understand that Nigeria is heavily dependent on importation of petroleum products. However, we have crude oil in Nigeria we export, and some refineries abroad because of the breakdown of our 4 refineries we have here in this country. We will not be able to refine crude oil, so we cannot get petroleum products domestically. So now petroleum products now is being classified as one of the important products, one of the mainly important products in Nigeria. And within this period of time, you will understand with me that there is this war, Ukraine and Russia. And Russia, in the international community, contributes around 11% of exported products. So the war is also drastically affecting Russia domestic production of PMS, HSK, ATK, ATO. While some other refineries like in Belgium, in Sweden, and Portugal are also doing their normal turnaround maintenance. So most of these refineries' output now is not sufficient enough. And when NNPC spokesperson said after our meeting, told us they are having logistics problem, which includes inadequate supplies from their suppliers, and vessel problem, which is most of the vessels they are using are also doing some maintenance. So you find out that all these things put together are the factors that has seen us having inadequate supply, and the sufficient period of an NNPC was shrinked. There's no 30-day sufficiency for us to be able to use PMS locally to enable imported vessels to bat in this country, knowing fully well that imported vessels bat at the coastal area. So it is so difficult for NNPCL, who is the sole importer of PMS into this country after deregulation, although some companies tried, but they couldn't succeed. Some of them who succeeded couldn't go back.
All right. What exactly, I need you to break down the role that NNPCL is playing in all of this situation. Would you say that NNPCL has been very fair in its ability, or has been fair in selling fuel or making the product available as it gets it? And I'm asking this because there have been allegations of favoritism to certain filling stations, that they sort of insist that the filling stations exhaust their stash before coming back to top up. So there's some sort of a gap between that time when it's exhausted and when they can get, and even trying to get, that there's some level of favoritism that is being played. Can you clarify if this is true or not?
Well, NNPC is a company, and in line with the PIA view, was established as a company to continue to distribute petroleum products locally. I also want to reassure you that within this period under review, that NNPC have tried as much as possible to be able to ensure there is adequate supply of petroleum products. You will find out that there is no certain supply scarcity within this period. Even if there is, it might not last a day or two, it will be cleared off. This is the first time scarcity is lingering for a week now. And it's also affecting Lagos. Once scarcity affects Lagos, you know that it's very, very serious. Because Lagos is the grand area where all the vessels will bat before smaller shuttle vessels will take them to Calabar, Warri, and Port Harcourt. These are the all coastal areas where we have the private tank farm owners or the private tank farm, where products are being distributed so that they can reach the nooks and crannies of this country. So products definitely now move from the wet area to the dry area. The reverse is the case because one, Kaduna refinery is no longer working for over a decade now. So we are not expecting any product from that, although they said that before December, according to the news, that Kaduna refinery will be upstream. So NNPCL as a company is trying its best to ensure that that is petroleum products distributed. And also as a new company that is saddled with this kind of tax, they are also going the kind of both administration and operational challenges, which I know that within some period of time, they are going to overcome it. Because all this thing, is being cropped up within a new regime where subsidy is being removed. So for me, to the best of my knowledge, I also believe that NNPC is trying their best to ensure that petroleum products gets to Nigerians.
Mr. Ukadike, just to quickly clarify, is this something that we should accept as our new reality, that every week or every 2 weeks there will be fuel scarcity? Is that going to be the new reality of Nigerians? Do we come to terms with that?
No, that is not my statement. My statement.
No. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I stated that because of this lacuna, because of this thrift in the supply chain, it's a chain reaction. Once there is a thrift in supply chain, it will definitely take 2 weeks to be able to get normalcy, return to the filling stations. Because as the independent marketers, we are the last bulk, breaking the bulk of petroleum product. So, and I know the intricacies and processes of loading and discharging and traveling 600 and something kilometers from the western zone to the northern zone to be able to discharge these products. And by the time this truck will leave Maiduguri to Abuja, it will take definitely like 2 days. After passing the dreadlocks of Apapa, that one will also take another 2 or 3 days. That is 5 days. Then after loading for 2 days, it will also take another 7 days. Now that same truck will now take another 7 days to return, because it's not also easy to leave Apapa and get to its destination with these bad roads. You understand, man? The wear and tear of the vehicle. So by the time this truck will leave Maiduguri and get to Apapa or Port Harcourt or Calabar or Warri, where they can be able to get petroleum products, it will take definitely close to 14 days for all these things to, to take place. So sometimes, NNPCL do kind of interventions of priority loading, ensuring that especially Abuja and its suburbs have petroleum products. You understand me? That does not, clear the air that fuel is now available. But because Abuja is citadel of power, they give priority to ensure that business and administrations move in Abuja, so that Nigerians will not be affected. But I also want to tell you that within this period of time, yes.
Yeah, the number of days it takes a truck to move from Maiduguri or any other part of the country, to Apapa and back and forth, that's a totally different conversation, and that's between the truck drivers and their petrol stations. There should be, of course, a working formula that doesn't require a 2-week process before you can get petrol. I'm sure that they have that figured out. But I want you to speak once again on this whole idea of turnaround maintenance for refineries in Europe. If to a lot of people that just doesn't make any sense, and what refineries exactly are we working with in Europe that all decided to do turnaround maintenance at the same time? Is this a thing that they all do at the same time every year? And that they've all chosen this period now to all do turnaround maintenance. And I don't know that even those refineries don't have viable options that work when they're doing turnaround maintenance, so that at least they can continue business. So I don't know that that's an excuse that a lot of Nigerians would simply accept and say, okay, well, there's that. And then there's also an issue that I've read on your article. It's talking about license renewal. So also clarify exactly what that is about. So we understand what's going on here and where we're headed this morning.
Okay, let me take it to what I've got doing. Talking about is for truck and transport drivers to talk about the dreadlocks in Apapa and the days of loading. I want to state clearly here that we, the independent marketers, we own trucks. It is even one of the prerequisites of the former NNPC that you must own a truck before you become an independent marketer. So we manage those trucks, we employ those drivers, and we dispatch them to go and do their petroleum product. So there is no guy saying whether an independent marketer should discuss the issue of bringing products from one location to another. We are in charge. We pay. We own the trucks. We buy the trucks. We employ the drivers. And we know the problems they face on the road. Even when they have those problems, they also refer back to us. Except you have few skeletal people who are into transportation business, you understand me. But I also want to tell you that 70% of the trucks moving around in this country are owned by independent companies. I want you to have that in the back of your mind. Now, the issue of the refineries in abroad, if you follow history very, very well, you will find out that in 2022, we also suffered this kind of thing. Some of the refineries did their turnaround maintenance and all this. I also have told you that the war in Ukraine, because I told you that Russia supply 11% of domestic petroleum exports, control it in the world. So when you don't have most of your refiners ready to sell for you, we are not magicians. And since we are not magicians, if you have any little click, even if it's a week, in terms of purchasing your products abroad, definitely it will affect you domestically. So I don't know why, because it's so shameful that Nigeria is still importing petroleum products. After we have a very big refinery and we have crude oil here in Nigeria, we are still importing. It's so shameful. So whatever your seller is experiencing, I don't know where Nigeria is sourcing there, but I also know that quarterly, because this quarter is normally in January, the first quarter is where some of these refineries do their turnaround maintenance. So it has been a tradition, it has been chronic, except that except you have a sufficiency period of 30 to 60 days to enable you pass within the period of 2 weeks turnaround maintenance of some of these refineries in Europe. And sometimes, if you have vessel breakdown or lack of vessel, because most of the vessels, maybe they're not being owned by Nigerians. So if you have vessel breakdown, it also affects your supply because it's back to back. Nigeria can continue to keep a shipload of vessels on the sea, and they'll be bringing demurrage just because they want to sustain a supply of petroleum product. So maybe they know how they schedule their vessels, and unfortunately, they couldn't be able to get one done before this other one arrives. So, and they said they're expecting vessels. And once those vessels arrive, they're just trying to manage whatever they have. Once those vessels arrive, I won't speak for NNPC or NNPC, but somebody who has been experienced in this industry, I know the challenges they face. You understand me? So that is why I said that that logistics they are talking about might be because of this turnaround maintenance that is ongoing. I can also give you a credit of companies in Europe that are doing turnaround maintenance in this period of time. So once your supply doesn't have product to give to you, definitely you will not have anything to sell.
All right, before you speak about license renewal, you know, do you have any information on what countries we are speaking about here? Aside Russia.
I'm talking about Sweden. I'm talking about Sweden. I'm talking about Sweden. I'm talking about Portugal. I'm also talking about Belgium too.
All right, so Russia, Belgium, Sweden, and Portugal. And these refineries all are doing turnaround maintenance at the same time.
There are so many countries I can't remember, you know. But maybe when you private chat me, I will lecture you on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Talk about the license
renewal.
Let me also
talk about licensing.
Yes.
NNPCL designed a portal, what is called Customers Express. And in that Customers Express is where marketers, independent marketers, precisely order their products from NNPCL. So within a period of time, NNPCL in that their portal said they have 15,000 licensed marketers. And most of these marketers have not renewed their DPI licenses. And in order to bring a reform to the industry and to ensure they are dealing with marketers, they have now decided that all those marketers should renew their licenses. And the licenses are being renewed by NMDPR, which is the policeman of the industry. So NMDPR licensing portal is also open because all these companies have now ensured that you don't interface with them. You pass through their portal to either renew your licenses, to renew your bulk purchase agreements, to order your products, to dispatch your products. All these things are done in the comfort of your home through your tablets, through your phones. Now, the DPR had a meeting with an NNPC and they decided that marketers who their license is not up to date, 2024, cannot be able to access the portal so that they can be able to weed away ghost marketers if there are. And the process of renewal is so cumbersome, and the prices of renewal has gone high. Most of the licenses will normally be renewed with 12,000, 15,000 naira before, are now 100 and something, 200 and something thousand. When you access it through the portal, it will generate around 100 and something thousand. And these are not licenses we have been renewed before with 18,000 naira, 12,000 naira. And all other processes like the MISTO, the leak test, and all the rest of them, all these things are now, the NNDPR charges money, ranging from 50-something thousand, depending on the tank. If you have up to 100 tanks or 20 tanks in your filling station, you have to times that 20,000, maybe 30,000 naira tanks, and 10 tanks you have, or 5 tanks you have. And we are not getting adequate supply of petroleum products. The cost of money for this business is so high. This is a business we normally order for 5,000 liters of PMS with 8.1 million naira. Now it is going for 25.something million naira. For you to get a truckload of this, you are talking about so 50 million. So the cost of this money is high. Most marketers could not be able to capitalize. Most marketers now lean on others, maybe what they call sharing. When one buy for 5,000 liters, the 3 marketers might share it. But that is why we have been campaigning for what we call energy bank or petroleum bank to be able to give us access to funds, because the percentage which the commercial banks gives to us, sometimes by the time you finish what you want to do, you are still going to pay back with your own personal money. There's some of the interests of the banks. So once a very good bank, where that one will be a topic for another day. But that process now, like what is on ground, the NNPCL have now told us in the meeting that it is only 1,050 marketers that have renewed their licenses.
Yep.
And if 1,050 marketers out of 15,000 are still pursuing around 14,000 are still pursuing to renew their licenses. It means that even when this product becomes adequate, you have skeletal filling stations operating. And this will also cause another artificial scarcity. And that is why we are of the opinion that NNPC in its magnanimity should use 2023 and 2024 licenses to admit people into their portal, so that by the middle of this year, those who cannot be able to renew their license will be wiped off, so that Nigerians can have access to petroleum products. It is only independent petroleum marketers that have filling stations in the nooks and corners of this country. And we can be able to distribute these petroleum products without stress to every part of this country. There's nowhere you will go in this country, you will not see an independent.
In the interest of time, because we need to wrap up, but just clarify that the NNPC is still the sole importer of petroleum products into Nigeria. There's no other,
yes.
Other people that, okay, well, and is that the same because of the dollar scarcity issues? Is that still the reason?
I think there is this disparity in dollar dealing between the NNPC and other importers. I also know it's on record that some importers during the deregulation process, when they open up the market, try to import I think Asia also tried to import petroleum products. Some of them were successful. Around 4 independent companies were successful to bring in petroleum products. But by the time they brought in petroleum products into this country, going back again, the dollar have risen.
Yeah.
They're pegging up the dollar at 750 at that particular point in time. But the dollar is around 850. Yeah. So they are almost going at a loss because they cannot be able to, those differences, they cannot be able to balance it.
I understand that.
And the government,
Mr. Ukadike,
so that's a very big problem for them.
Yeah, Mr. Ukadike, final question, if you can, in 30 seconds. Do we expect the price of petrol to increase, from what it currently is, with the whole confusion with regards payment of subsidy or non-payment of subsidy? Nasser El-Rufai, former Kaduna State Governor, says that we're paying even more for subsidy now. So do we expect that at some point the Nigerian government, or rather petroleum prices, will increase from 600, average where it is now?
If we're expecting that, that means we're inviting what I call electronic. When I use electronic, the economy will nosedive because you also know that everything in this country borders on oil and gas, both the goods, commercial services, and goods, agricultural produce. They all take dairy from oil and gas. Once there is an increase, the economy will nosedive. And that's why government is doing this kind of passive subsidy to be able to maintain goods and services at a minimum prices, whereby me and you can be able to buy something to feed our family. So once you increase petroleum products from this manageable 750 naira to 1,000 something, in line with the dollar increase, you understand me? Because the GMD of NNPC stated clearly that what determines the price of petroleum products is forex. Once the forex go high, the price of petroleum products, which is semantic, which is correct. Okay. You understand? Because we are importing.
So it means we are still paying subsidy, just to clarify. All right.
I just wanted to also quickly clarify. Is there any temporary relief that can be employed to ensure that we can prevent the frequency of this fuel scarcity? You did mention about how the licensing fees need to be brought down to enable other players in this sector get their licenses. So are there other temporary measures that can be maybe put in place to mitigate the current harshness of access to products?
Yeah, definitely Nigeria is working, and I believe from what I have visited the Petrol refinery and what I have seen that area 5, what I've seen there is very impressive, And if by July, if Petrol refinery comes on steam, I also believe that petroleum products will be. But there is one salient information that I also want to drop here. The pipelines that was designed to be able to seamlessly take petroleum products from one point to another without, you see the fire incident in the element. If the tanker fell down and consumed over 100 trucks, these are things we can be able to use our pipeline, which are being piped in system 2A, system 2PC, all this from part of it. It was designed to the whole 21 depots in this country. If products are passing through that pipeline, you will see less of the trucks on the road. You understand me? So these are, well, I don't know what I call it, an interim measure to ensure that these pipelines are put in place. Products can pass through those pipelines. And it would be, if actually the pipelines are working, I want to tell you in 2 days, products will be, the Nigerian will
All right.
product will be literally.
All right. Mr.
You
Ukadike.
understand me? So that also encourage some of these modular refineries that are upcoming, giving them crude in Naira, and also ensuring that whatever is the local content agreement government signs with them, those local refineries, encourage modular refineries.
All right,
Encourage,
Mr. Ukadike, we need to wrap the conversation up. Thank you very much for your time this morning. It's a painful period for many Nigerians. You know, the issues that the average Nigerian is dealing with currently are too much to add, of course, you know, lack of petrol. But we'll see how things turn out in the next couple of days. Hopefully before the next 2 weeks, there's some relief. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll speak with you again soon.